times people went crazy on paternity court.
Because you over there downgrading somebody.
Listen, Jerome, get her, Jerome. Miss Christian,
You pregnant.
Mr. Brooks, you are his father.
All right. It's my boy.
Baby mama has been with multiple men. Now she's not sure about paternity.
Miss Phillips, you admit to having a threesome behind the defendant's back and then sleeping with his friend 1 week later. Now you claim you're unsure who fathered your 1-year-old daughter, Brooklyn.
Yes, Your Honor.
Still, Miss Phillips was not ready to take all the blame.
He lied to me about his age when we first got together. He lied about cheating on me with another girl. He talks to girls on the internet. He wants to act all innocent, like he never did anything to me.
Okay.
And this is how the defendant found out about the swindling of Miss Phillips.
Mr. Maltese, when did you find out about all of this?
Probably back in December of 2011. We broke up and she came back to me crying, asking me to take her back. But at the time, before she even came back to me, we was at a friend's house and she yelled at me in front of all my friends and in front of her friends also. That's why I had sex with one of your friends.
She said that out loud.
In front of all my friends. Embarrassed me, embarrassed herself.
But the plaintiff did not regret it at all.
When I was 3 months pregnant, I let him know that his friend, we fought about it. He got over it, said he wanted to be there no matter what. And then he blew up on me in a gas station, parking lot, telling me, go be with this guy, go give him oral sex,
Yana.
go. And I just basically told him, my kid doesn't need a dad. I didn't need a dad. My daughter doesn't need a dad. You're either gonna be there or you're not.
No.
We even got to know about the diary Miss Phillips kept.
I have my diary
Okay.
right here, Your Honor, with the list of guys I've been with since I lost my virginity.
Let me see this diary. I want to see what. Okay. All right. There are 18 names listed. Quite a list.
Out of those 18, 2 to 3 of them are my friends that she slept with.
However, Miss Phillips was on a rampage mode, and she was not ready to go down easily.
I had to pay him to come over to babysit his daughter. I don't even pay her babysitter since he's been gone for the last month. I try to give my
What
friend
do you do
money.
for your
Wait,
daughter?
I try to give. What do I do
What
for
do you
her?
do for
I
your
go to
daughter?
work every day.
And
Buy
what do
her
you do with your
diapers.
paycheck? What do you do with your
I buy her
paycheck?
diapers. I buy her clothes. I buy her food. I pay the bills in my house. You don't do nothing.
So, the court needed some order.
Mr. Maltese, you're at the house, obviously watching the baby. And when you find this, you read it, and what do you discover?
2 of my friends' names. At the time, when we first started, I found a list, and there was about 16 to 17 guys' names on there. After my child was born, I find more names on that list that happen to be my friends. Okay, after she has sex with
Incorrect.
them, my friends come to me
Incorrect.
and tell me the stories.
Incorrect.
Up next, we found out that Mr. Maltese had yet to learn about the other potential father in the beginning.
When did you discover that there were multiple potential fathers?
3 to 4 months after my daughter was born is when I find out she had another threesome with another associate of mine.
Okay.
Her and her best friend had multiple.
With
Her and
her-
her best friend
with
had
her
3
friend.
best. They had 3 threesomes.
So why did he sign the birth
Hold
certificate?
on. You've got to take responsibility.
Even after the doubt, the defendant had signed the birth certificate.
The reason why I signed that because there was a 50-50 chance between me and some other man that might be her dad.
Okay. So why did you step up to the plate in this way, in this legal
Because that
way?
big fool girl right there needs a dad. Without me, she ain't gonna have a dad because she don't even know where to find the other guy.
He wants to be with me. He even tells
wanna
me,
be with you.
how can I raise another man's child and I'm not even with the mom?
Both plaintiff and defendant were very good at ticking the judge off.
He tells me he'll watch her during emergency and while I work. That's a babysitter. She don't need a babysitter.
Hold on.
I'm sorry. I
You know what?
apologize, Your Honor.
You know what?
I apologize.
It's obvious you don't have much respect for yourself in the way you have behaved. But I'm going to tell you now one more time or you will have your disrespectful self out on the curb. Stop cursing in this courtroom.
Back to the matter at hand.
Have you reached out to any of the possible other fathers to say Brooklyn could be yours?
No, I don't want to find him.
Regardless
I
of
made
what they are, she
mistakes.
cannot.
I forgive myself. I carry myself in a manner that is respectful. I hold my
You
head
do?
up high.
Is that why you're cursing in the courtroom?
Because he makes me so angry with rage.
Ooh, the drama is just not reaching its end.
Mr. Maltese, you are required legally to help care for the
pay you?
I
child.
have no
Then why did
problem
I
watching
pay
that
you?
child.
Helping.
The past month, no, I have not been helping because she won't let me see her.
I don't care, Natalie. Come get your kid. I don't want this kid in my house. He left voicemails
Did you say
on my
that?
he left voicemails on my phone of my daughter crying, dad, dad, dad. Like, what am I gonna think as a mother that's happening to my child?
Did that happen, Mr.
Time for a good schooling, I guess.
Both of you running your mouths and ain't talking about nothing.
Welcome to my life for the last last 3 years since I was 17. Yeah,
And it's not the life of this courtroom. And if you're any kind of mother, you'll make sure it's not Brooklyn's life.
I tried.
Okay?
I don't want my daughter growing up hearing him call me
Then
those
that,
grudges.
for that reason, you need to do a lot less of this and running that mouth and a lot more of this.
Whoa! Little Brooklyn Village is just crazy. Let's sort things out for her.
Mr. Maltese, you are her father. Just allow him to be Brooklyn's father and judge him on that. If you give him the opportunity, and Mr. Maltese, I don't care what feelings or what issues you have with what Miss Phillips is doing. She's 20 years old. She got a lot more mistakes to make. I hate to tell you.
I moved on, Your Honor.
Mr. Brooks is in paternity court because he desperately wants to prove that the defendant's 18-year-old son is his.
Mr. Brooks, you've summoned your ex-girlfriend, Ms. Gooley, to paternity court to prove that you are the father of her 18-year-old son, Mr. McDonald.
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Gooley, you admit you cheated on Mr. Brooks all those years ago and are here today to prove to Mr. Brooks that he is not the father of your son.
Yes, Your Honor.
But Miss Gooley was quite blunt about cheating on the Macon man.
Ms. Gooley, how long was that relationship?
10 years.
Was it a committed relationship?
No, Your Honor.
Did
You're
you
lying.
consider yourselves boyfriend and girlfriend?
I mean,
Yes.
we were boyfriend and girlfriend, but I mean, I wasn't faithful.
You allowed him to believe that he was Mr. McDonald's biological father the entire pregnancy.
Yes, Your Honor, I did.
That is surely a brutal thing to do.
He knew there was another man that was
No,
at
I
my
didn't.
house all the time.
That's a lie.
And he used to take Fred to work. and
How you
come
gonna
back
take me
the
where I had
house.
my own damn car?
Mr. Brooks,
Excuse
I
me, I'm
need you to
sorry.
watch your language.
I'm sorry.
You
I'm sorry.
believe that man is your son's biological father.
Yes, Your Honor.
If you think he's your child's father, you obviously were having a sexual relationship with him
Yes, Your Honor.
without using any protection.
Yes, Your Honor.
Clearly, all of this was a bombshell for the devoted father.
When she told you she was pregnant, there was no doubt in your mind that you were the father?
No, crazy days of my life when she told me she was pregnant. I just wanted to be a great father. And I got pictures. I've been having these pictures with me from 17 years.
These are pictures you've carried for 17 years,
Yes.
believing that you are Mr. McDonald's biological father.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Brooks even told the court how he was separated from his child.
She called me, told me, get the kids out the house. I said, for what? And that thing, 3 police cars pulled up and DFAC. They told me they come to get the kids. You're not getting my kids.
They came and got the kids in the first place because Mr. Brooks is the one that called DFAX on me because he wanted
How
to
am I
take
called
my
DFAX?
kids.
That's my family.
He
Why am I break
wanted
my own
to
family
take
up
my
for?
kids away from me.
So, because of the defendant's substance abuse, Mr. Brooks lost his child.
So let me be clear. You submitted to the court. At this time, you were both battling and having significant challenges with drugs.
Not her. Tell me what you do.
It don't
But-
matter. I don't do it now.
Yeah.
Ultimately, it was deemed at that time that the children should be removed
Yes.
from your home.
No.
Turns out that at first, Ms. Gooley was mixed about paternity.
At what point did you decide to tell him? Because you had said, admittedly, I let him believe this was his biological child.
A year ago.
It was a year
No,
ago?
it was not.
Yeah, it
Your
was.
Honor. As soon as that baby came out my stomach, I looked at Fred, and the first thing out my mouth was, "Is he yours?"
You a lie.
In the hospital?
You
As
a lie.
soon
No,
when
she
they
didn't.
before they even cut the cord.
Now let's see what this son in dispute has to say about this.
Do you believe Mr. Brooks is your father?
Yes, ma'am.
That's been your understanding your whole life?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. What was it like we're finally reunited with your mother?
It was kind of nervous at the beginning, but as we sat down and talked during the visit, it kind of got like, okay, and then we just started talking ever since then.
Mr. Brooks had a lot to dish, but Mommy ruled all of it as a lie.
He ain't done nothing for Demarion since Demarian's been back in our lives. He ain't done nothing. He acted up, sitting up here like trying to fake the funk and stuff, you know.
I ain't faking
yes,
nothing.
you are.
I ain't faking
yes,
nothing,
you are.
Renee.
You didn't even
I
go
always-
take your son downtown yesterday. I did it. You
I
don't
can't.
never spend no time with him. I live in Texas and I spend more time with this boy and talk to him more than you do.
Only one way to end this odd trivia. Hopefully, it will end well.
Mr. Brooks, you are his father.
All right. This is my boy.
Feels good, sir?
You feel real good.
Miss Christian's 26-year-old search for her father has ended, but the alleged daddy doesn't want anything to do with her.
Miss Christian, you opened your case hoping the court will grant you a paternity test so you can prove to the defendant that he is your biological father.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Christian, you say there is no need for a DNA test because you know you are not the plaintiff's father. You know the truth. You are not her dad. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
It was hard for the plaintiff to comprehend the denial because they both shared the same last name.
First of all, Your Honor, I have his last name. So how can I not be his child if I still have his last name?
Tell the court how this has impacted your life.
I mean, I feel alone. I don't have any dad side of the family. I never had a father in my life. How can you say you're not my father when you've been in and out of my life since I was little and I still carry your last name? I don't get that.
And so you've had to bear the burden of this paternity issue.
Yes.
But Miss Christian's painful testimony did not affect the defendant.
So painfully, what she's gone through. You truly don't believe she's your biological child?
No, Your Honor.
So why is that? She says you've been in and out. She remembers you, but you never really committed to the father-daughter relationship.
Whereas Mr. Christian there was no good reason to accept the plaintiff as his daughter.
Me and her mother were like Bonnie and Clyde. We were doing what we did together, whether it was right or whether it was wrong. And when she got pregnant for the first time, I signed up for that child, not knowing if that child was mine. When she got pregnant for Precious, I told myself I wasn't gonna sign up again unless I knew the facts, unless I knew it to be true.
It seemed like the young woman was paying for someone else's mistakes.
I'm the innocent person in this situation. You want to sit there and cry and you a grown man and I've been going through all this? I'm the innocent person. I got a baby on the way.
Calm down.
I need to know who my family is.
You're right.
Calm down.
Next, the judge called a witness from the plaintiff's side who told the court this.
Ma'am, thank you for being here.
Oh, thank you.
You were around during the time when Precious's mom, Miss Christian's mom, was dating Mr. Christian?
Yes, Your Honor. I was going with one of his family members. I introduced them. And first of all, he was claiming her, taking care of her.
When Miss Christian was born, Mr. Christian was taking care of her like she was his child?
Exactly.
After this, Miss Christian told the court how desperately she was looking for her father.
So what happened when you went to search for your father?
I asked my grandma what his mother's name was, and my grandmother told me her name. I looked for her in the phone book because I was old enough to see other kids having father figures in their life, and I knew that's what I wanted in my life. And I called her and she said she didn't know his whereabouts.
At 7 years old?
At 7 years old.
Upon listening to that, the defendant responded in this way.
I think I've suppressed a lot of memories, but I do remember times her mother would call me and I would come try to bond, but I never felt a connection or a bond. Another time, she called me from her auntie's house where she was living at. She needed me to come and pick her up. I was hesitant to do it, but she said, let's go get her. And we went over there and we picked Precious up.
And this ticket misses Christian really hard.
I'm 26 years old.
You should be
and I don't know where
addressing
I
your
come
mother.
from.
Hold
It's
on.
about you and my mother because you as
Well,
a
I'm
grown
here.
man,
I'm here. Where's your mother?
As a responsible person, James. If you feel like I'm not yours, don't keep coming in and out my life confusing me.
There is no bank of this river, is there?
I took a blood test and the test came back 99.8% that me and her mother didn't possess the proper gene in order to create Precious.
Wait, where did you see those results?
They sent it to me in the mail and I wish I had kept it.
That is shocking to me.
Thank you.
Shocking and confusing. Things are just getting crazier than crazy.
If I order this paternity test, are you hoping that Mr. Christian is your biological
The only reason
father?
I hope so because I have a relationship with his family. And I want my daughter to have that relationship with his family. I still want that relationship with his family.
You want the
I
relationship?
don't want my child to have to go through what I'm going through right now. I want to tell her who her grandfather is and who her family is.
Let's see if the result will bring some closure to her or will take the opposite turn.
In the case of Christian versus Christian, when it comes to 26-year-old Precious Christian, it has been determined by this court. Mr. Christian, you are not the father.
Because you over there downgrading somebody.
Listen, Jerome, get her, Jerome. Miss Christian.
You pregnant.
Mr. Carson has passed away, and his sisters are in paternity court to prove the defendant is not his baby mama.
Ms. Carson and Ms. Shelmanson Bay, you are here on behalf of your deceased brother, Michael Carson, to prove he is not the biological father of the defendant's 2-year-old daughter, Mariah. You claim Ms. Marcellus was promiscuous and your brother doubted that he was the father. You're here to protect your family name. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
They further claim that the baby mama was nothing but a gold digger.
Her only motivation is because of money. It's been about money. If it's not beneficial, she don't want anything to do with anything. That's what it is.
How am I gonna take care of kids without money anyway? I gotta get out here and work. I'd work.
They real daddy need to take care of.
He was until he died. How about that? When I needed diapers for that baby, guess who was cutting the check?
Guess what? Mommy didn't deny it at all.
So where was you at? Where was you at, though?
She wasn't even a month when he passed away.
Okay, and he was there, but when I had that baby and she popped out, who was at that hospital? Y'all wasn't.
Not him.
How was that?
We don't supposed to be there.
All right, let's get some order, ladies. Let's get some order.
Next, the sisters told the court about their brother straight up denying the baby.
To the sisters, Ms. Carson, Ms. Shelmanson Bay, your doubt is because Mariah, you say he did not accept.
Correct. He wasn't even in town around the time she got pregnant, so got off the phone with you, called my brother. I said, Mikey, Ashley says she pregnant by you. He bust out laughing. He was really goofy. I said, this is a serious matter. Is this your baby? He said, no, that's not my baby.
So it was time for the other potential father part.
You know, I had a friend that I was dealing with in September, slept with Mr. Carson. It was right after his birthday. I found out I was pregnant in November. He was like, okay, cool. That was it. Michael was planning to get married.
But he was already married.
No, he was not at the time. He got married. First of all, Michael got married March 11th.
Okay, when they act like that, it's hard to understand even a thing.
You done had little get-togethers.
Okay, and that's my problem. What they got to do with you? But I don't care because after I told him I was about to have Mariah and then I was pregnant with Mariah.
But he was already married.
No, he was not at the time. He got married. First of all, Michael got married March 11th of 2016.
Because you was there. Because you was there.
No, I was not there.
Neither side was ready to cut the other slack.
Okay, so you can quit worrying about what I got going on. I'm taking care of mine. I'm taking care of mine. I take care of mine. However, you call it.
So you didn't ever had no doubt?
Ladies, I'm trying to stay respectful and kind. Was he happy about the baby?
He was Michael, you know what I mean?
To let one person speak at a time so I can understand.
Okay. Agreed.
After this, the judge called up the alleged father's mother to stand.
Miss, will you please stand up? Thank you, and state your name for the court.
I'm Geraldine Carson.
So do you believe Mariah Carson is your son's biological daughter?
No, I do not.
And can you tell the court why?
I had to have a conversation with him and asked him point blank, is this your baby? And he said no.
Up next, we got to know why Mr. Carson was denying the child.
Ms. Marcellus, did he ever express to you that he didn't believe he was Mariah's biological father?
Yeah, he did come to me about, am I sure if Mariah's his? He had told me that his sister Maya had told him that about the neighbor that I was dealing with where I lived at.
And was this after she was born or before?
No, this was before she was
Before she was born?
Yeah.
It was about time to get to the part that would finally bring peace.
The percentage of relatedness between Geraldine and Mitchell Carson and 2-year-old Mariah Carson is 99.99%. You are related.
After fooling the plaintiff into having a baby, Mr. Jackson wants nothing to do with the baby or the mama.
Miss Sales, you claim that you and the defendant, Mr. Jackson, were in a serious relationship and it was his idea to have a baby. But now that your 3-year-old daughter, Micaiah, is here, he denies being her father. You want him to step up and take care of his daughter. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Miss Sales told the court what kind of person she was dealing with.
Miss Sales, explain why you opened your case today.
I opened my case today because I was with D'Amico for 5 years. We had our baby, and now he feels like that is not his child. Since the day my daughter was born, because she was light-skinned with gray eyes, that was not his child because I'm too dark to have a light-skinned baby.
But Mr. Jackson had this explanation about what had been going on between them.
Mr. Jackson, she said you were in a 5-year relationship. Is that true?
No, ma'am.
What were you doing?
You know, she was like my side woman.
So, it's your testimony you weren't in a relationship at all.
I mean, we had a relationship, but it wasn't serious. You know, we was just, you know.
You left your ex to come be with me. How was we not in a relationship?
It was more of, you know, she had great sex.
Oh, man. He had some nerve to say things like that out loud.
He came to my house every single day. He lived at my house every single day.
But, you know, regardless, you could still make a baby even though she might have been your side woman. I mean, none of that prevents you from becoming a father.
Yes, but I wasn't the only man that was smashing it.
He's lying.
The man was just nasty. However, baby mama was truly devoted to him.
He took me and went with me to the hospital. So I was getting a lot of tests ran and things done to me. They was telling me no, I wasn't pregnant at the time because I had polyps. Nurse explained that it was really hard for me to get pregnant and my chances was very slim. But at the time, I had already gotten off of birth control and was trying to have a baby with him. We had sex at the hospital that same night.
Still, the defendant was reluctant to accept the baby. He even had evidence to line up with his claims.
I broke up with Miss Sales June. I got back with my ex July. We went to the hospital in August to check about her uterus because she had problems. I did not know she was pregnant until like a month or two later. That's when she told me she was pregnant.
So is it your testimony that you didn't have sex from June when you broke up with Miss Sales all the way in July, nor in August, nor in September?
So after this, the judge called up the witness who added this to the trial.
Ms. Jackson, I'd like to know what you know about this situation.
D'Amico called me crying one night because he said Ashley admitted to him that she had slept with the light-skinned dude with dreads, and there's a possibility that Micaiah might not be his.
And what did you tell your brother, Ms. Jackson?
I just told him to take a DNA test, which he said he tried to take one.
But Judge Lake was not ready to buy it at all.
Not take the DNA test today, not get the answer as it relates to the paternity of Micaiah, and go back home to Miss Sales to only have sex with her and continue to devalue her for another 2 years.
Like I said, on certain ends it was about the sex, but you know, if at the time I just didn't want to find it out. And I seen her break down, so it really made me like, I could be tripping.
But now it was time for the results.
In the case of Sales versus Jackson, when it comes to 3-year-old Micaiah Jackson, it has been determined by this court. Mr. Jackson, you are the father.
Now I know who my baby daddy is.